Hello YouTube, welcome to Katie Bird's Nest. I am Kate, and I'm back with a week 3 check-in with Artist Way, the Spiritual Path to Higher Creativity by Julia Cameron. Week 3 is Recovering a Sense of Power, and our subtopics in the chapter are anger, synchronicity, shame, dealing with criticism, detective work and exercise, and growth. So my outer state for this week was to go shopping, and I had to go Christmas shopping and buy my husband a gift and get a few things for my parents and my niece and nephew and my brother. And I wanted to poke around in the stores for myself, and I thought I would just wrap all of this up and go on an artist date for my shopping trip. So I'll do a quick recap on the actual points of the check-in questions. So for my morning pages, I did do my morning pages every day. Some days were sluggish and it was hard. I didn't really know what to write about, but I did 3 pages every day, and some days they took longer. Some days I flew through them and I had plenty to write about. But some days I was just sort of resting on the page, is how she says it. I did start including a 4th page, and from week 2 there was a discussion about one of the exercises was saying pick 3 affirmations and write them out 5 times, like write lines. And so I started including that in week 3. So I do my 3 pages for my morning pages, and then a 4th page I would write, I am a brilliant and prolific writer. Inspiration is in and around me. And I would write that line 5 times. And then I would write, I am writing every day. And I would write that 5 times. And then I would write, I am more than what happens to me. And I would write that 5 times. And that took up an entire sheet. And I didn't want it to be part of my 3 pages. So I made it an additional 4th page. So, and I don't know, that didn't add a ton of time, but my hand is getting stronger at writing, so I'm doing a lot of lines in addition to the 3 pages. So number 2 for the check-in is the artist date. So yes, I did my artist date. I went shopping, but I felt like my artist date was shortchanged because of it, because it's Christmas, and it's like, it's 8 days to Christmas now, but when I did my artist date, it took 2-3 days to go Christmas shopping, and I was in holiday traffic at the mall, in and out of multiple stores, in parking lots, and traffic, and trying to, in long lines in the stores, and poking around in the stores. It wasn't fun. Some of it was fun because I did buy some things for myself, but it wasn't an artist date the way I would want an artist date to be. So I feel like I kind of cheated on my artist date. Like, I needed to go Christmas shopping, but it wasn't really an artist date for my inner child. I was taking care of errands the way an adult needs to take care of errands. So next week, I don't want to piggyback my artist date on an adult errand. I want to do something that's just for my artist child, so I'm trying to think of ideas of what to do next week. So number 3 for the check-in is synchronicity, and I didn't really note any synchronicity or serendipity moments during this week, but I was kind of thinking back and, when have things like that happened in my life? How has that manifested in the past? And I thought, since I started being a writer in 2008 is when I sat down and was like, I want to write a book. I read a series of romance books, and I was like, I could do this. This would be awesome to be a writer and work full time writing from home, and I could do this. I just need to sit down and do it and learn how to write the craft. And I read plenty of romance novels and historical Regency, and this can't be that hard, I thought. And 8 years later, I'm still unpublished. But life happens. I have a day job, and I've had multiple day jobs. At a house, I've made 3 moves. I moved to 3 different states in that time, and I've gotten divorced, and I've been remarried, and, life changes. But I've always wanted to be working from home full-time as writing as my job, and to not have to have a day job, for my real job to be writing. And that's where I'm at. I don't have a job, not a regular job. I mean, my job is full-time from home, working on writing right now. That's where my life is. That is my day job. And I'm doing videos now for YouTube. So YouTube is kind of my hobby. I mean, it's kind of a day job now as well, but it's my side gig in addition to writing. So chop chop, I gotta get moving on this writing gig because I'm where I want to be. And so I kind of consider that to fall into the synchronicity, because I didn't get here the way I expected to get here. This was not part of the plan, how the way this went down. This was, this felt like a series of failures to end up unemployed. But really, where I'm at now is where I want to be. This is part of that 1,000 hands helping. It just helped me in a way I didn't expect, the way I got here. But I do consider this part of the synchronicity. I've been putting out there for 8 years that this is what I want, and it happened. It just didn't quite come about in the exact way I expected. But I'm here. Now I need to make the most of this opportunity. So for number 4 for the check-in is, are there any other things that you learned during the week? And this week is recovering a sense of power, and I felt kind of off kilter about that being the title of this chapter, because this week I felt very vulnerable. And I thought, how can this chapter be about power when all week I felt like I needed to protect my artist child? And, maybe it was just being in traffic so much and being in the Christmas zip, 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 and being nervous driving around in heavy traffic out in the malls, and please, don't get in a car accident type of thing, and just dealing with other shoppers who are impatient and being frustrated with retail stores that are understaffed, and the cashiers are all frazzled already, and it's like, I'm just trying to buy an item. I'm not in a rush, and please don't be, nasty with me. I didn't do anything. I just want to get this item and get out of the store, and I know you're busy, but, it's Christmas and people should be happy. But I felt very vulnerable this week. I didn't feel like I had a sense of power. And when you get into the second half of the chapter and it talks about criticism, and it gets into, you talk about shame and detachment, and how I do feel how my work, I get kind of detached from my work. I get the bulk of it done, and then I get into edits, and then I start to detach from my work. And it's like, it doesn't matter anymore. It's and I'm not sure where that's coming from, but I do identify with that happens with my stories. That's why I have so many that are unfinished. It's like, is it just because I'm not willing to do the hard work at that point? Or is it a deeper issue? Is it a coping mechanism to be safe, to not put my work out there, to avoid the shame that comes with putting your work out there as an artist? There's a part in Shame that says, the act of making art exposes a society to itself. Art brings things to light. It illuminates it. It sheds light on our lingering darkness. And I thought, well, maybe there's some lingering darkness that I'm nervous about putting out there. Because putting your art out there into the world puts it out there for criticism. So maybe I'm not, I'm still nervous and I still feel vulnerable about putting it out there all the way. And detachment, there's a piece that says, as an artist, nears completion on a piece of work, The work seems mysteriously drained of merit. It is no longer worth the trouble. This sudden disinterest is a routine coping device employed to deny pain and ward off vulnerability. And I think that's what's happening with me and my multitude of unpublished items, of unpublished manuscripts. Is I haven't even pulled them together enough to submit because there's glaring holes in the plot where I'm like, oh, I need to fix the love scenes enough to pull them together to publish because they're not written enough in order to submit yet. You know, the editor would be like, well, this isn't done. You haven't finished writing these scenes. So I get down to the nitty-gritty of some of the book that needs to really be finished and polished, and at that point I've already detached from the story. Even though it's 80% written, it's that last 20% of the love story that I'm not quite comfortable touching and digging into. So that's what I need to work on this year, is taking the stories that I have that are good stories, that everything around them is built, and digging into what isn't done and really doing the hard parts and dealing with whatever this detachment issue I have is, and recognizing that recognizing the issue for what it is, and then moving through it or over it or past it, and doing the hard work to get on with whatever the problem is, and then submitting these stories. Because if I can just do a little bit of work to get these 20% done, I might have a cascade of novels, and that would be great to get just boom, 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 just get a whole chunk of stories out the door. So the other part that goes with that was how to deal with the detachment. There wasn't really an answer in the book that said how to fix that. The only takeaway I could understand was at the very end of the chapter where she talked about, yes, I'm asking you to baby yourself, and that you are your artist child, you know, your inner artist is a child. And I thought, okay, well, I feel vulnerable, so babying myself probably is the way to go. You know, as a creative being, you will be more productive when coaxed than when being bullied. Experiment with solitude and commit to quiet time. And so there is this other book. I took the dust jacket off. But there's another book, The Sound of Paper by Julia Cameron, and it's kind of like a companion book to, I wonder if I can, The Sound of Paper, starting from scratch. It's sort of, I think of it as a companion book to The Artist's Way. I've just started it. Let me see if I can see kind of what they're like little essays, so it's like a couple of pages that you read, and then like a little assignment that you can do. And so I don't do all of them, but I'll read a couple of pages, and then I'll look at what the assignment is and either do the assignment in my head or sit down and write a little bit in one of my journals about what kind of how I feel about what the essay was about. And you can see I'm not that far into it, but I feel like it's been helpful to, that's how I've been doing my quiet time, when she talks about commit to solitude and commit to some quiet time to kind of get in touch with yourself and give your, I'm guessing it's giving your artist child some time alone. So that's been kind of helpful this week, and maybe that's why I feel more vulnerable, is because I have been kind of getting more in tune with myself and touching base with some of the more raw, sensitive places within myself and shining that light into the darkness, and it's not used to being looked at. So this week I think was a success for me. I did my morning pages, I did an artist date. I kind of learned that I need to keep my artist date solely about me and not tack on errands on the artist date, that it really needs to be a solo date without stipulations attached to it, no multitasking during my artist date. And then the Synchronicity, I will continue to keep an eye out for that. I would assume that there will be more things coming up as I move through this process. There might be new things that fall into sync with my, what did she say it was? It was good activated by your own hand when we act in behalf of our truest dreams. We commit our own soul. It's like prayers. Prayers are good, activated by our own hand. We all have our Africas, those dark and romantic notions that call to our deepest selves. That was in the section about anger, but that really spoke to me because I thought, you know, everyone has a dream. Everyone kind of puts their prayers out there for, you know, oh, I only wish if I could have whatever I wanted, I would want XYZ. You know, my Africa would be to work from home full-time as a writer and to replace my day job money with the money that I could make as an income writing books. That would be my full-time career. That's my Africa. That's my dream. I pray that I can make that a reality someday. And look, here I am. Here's my synchronicity. It's happening. And I put that in motion. You know, I put that out there into the world that that's what I wanted, and then I made specific steps in trying to make that happen, and then the world reacted, and it didn't react quite the way I expected, but things aren't all under my control, and look, here I am, I've got what I asked for, and now I need to make the next step and use this opportunity to make it happen. I need to put the books out there, and then the money will come, and the day job replacement will be here. So thank you for tuning in to my week 3 check-in, and I will start week 4. Let me see what week 4 is. I will start week 4 soon on Monday, and week 4 is recovering a sense of integrity. We'll dive into that next week, and I will do another check-in. So if you like the video, please thumbs up. Leave comments. I will reply when I get a chance to. Thanks for watching.